Chapter 1, Introduction, A Small Life. His name was KJ. No royal background, no billionaire parents, just a tiny smile and a huge challenge. From the moment he was born, it became clear. KJ had a genetic defect that even doctors were unsettled by, CPS1 deficiency. And yes, don't ask for the full form, carbamoyl phosphate synthetase 1 deficiency. The name itself sounds like it was lifted straight from an alien language. So what happens in this disease? A simple thing. Our liver has an enzyme, CPS1, whose job is to remove ammonia from the body. Ammonia, yes, the same one we used to ignore in school labs as just a chemical. But when it starts building up in the body, it becomes poison. KJ's liver didn't have this enzyme at all. So every single moment, his body was making its own poison, meaning the liver stopped functioning, toxins started accumulating, and if nothing was done immediately, coma, brain damage, and even death were possible. The doctors said a transplant will be necessary. But wait, this isn't a car engine you can just replace with a new one. The risk of an infant liver transplant was so high that the team thought this is like playing Russian roulette. And then enters a real technology that sounds like science fiction. CRISPR, the gene editing tool that was once limited to lab rats and research papers. But this time, for the very first time, it was used on a real human baby, a custom-designed treatment specifically for KJ's DNA. What was done? Inside KJ's DNA, where the mistake existed, a microscopic edit was made. No surgery, no transplant. Just a message sent to his liver cells via lipid nanoparticles, hey, start producing this enzyme, or the baby won't survive. And the miracle happened. KJ's DNA listened. For the first time, his liver cells started producing the correct enzyme. For the first time, he could eat food that previously would have turned into poison. For the first time in literal sense, science rewrote the destiny of a child at the level of his genes. And that's where our story begins, the story of CRISPR, a technology that can change not just genes, but generations. Chapter 2. What is CRISPR? Now the question arises, what exactly is CRISPR? Why is everyone talking about it? And how did it change the life of a child like KJ? Let's rewind a little. The full name of CRISPR is Clustered Regularly Interspaced Short Palindromic Repeats. Yes, the name sounds like a password from a sci-fi movie. But in reality, CRISPR is a gene editing tool, a microscopic scissor that can cut DNA at exactly the right spot.
Bacteria have to deal with viruses in their environment, and we can think about a viral infection like a ticking time bomb. A bacterium has only a few minutes to defuse the bomb before it gets destroyed. So many bacteria have in their cells an adaptive immune system called CRISPR that allows them to detect viral DNA and destroy it.
DNA, the blueprint of our body, determines eye color, how our immune system works, and which genetic diseases we might inherit. Now imagine there's a typo in a single line of your DNA. CRISPR pinpoints that error, cuts it, and replaces it with the correct sequence. And this all happens with the help of an enzyme called Cas9-, which basically performs a surgical strike at the molecular level. To put it in simpler terms, DNA is like a book that runs your entire body. If a single word is printed incorrectly, the meaning changes. CRISPR finds that wrong word, deletes it, and pastes in the correct one. Previously, scientists could only observe genes. Now they can edit them. And this marked the beginning of the era of genetic engineering 2.0. But the question arises, is it really that simple? Absolutely not. DNA is a complex network, and even a tiny mistake can create chaos throughout the entire body. That's why CRISPR is used with millimeter-level accuracy. This technology was discovered in 2012. Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Charpentier introduced it to the world, and in 2020, they were awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Today, this technology has become a new line of hope for humans. KJ is its first real-world example. Chapter 3. From Lab to Life. The Journey of CRISPR. Honestly, the story of CRISPR is no less than a movie plot. Discovered in 2012, this technology has moved from lab glass containers straight into the human body. Where did it all start? In 2012, two scientists, Jennifer Doudna and Emmanuel Charpentier, first introduced CRISPR-Cas9 as a programmable gene editing system. And believe me, this was as revolutionary in biology as the internet was for communication. Chapter 4: The Future of CRISPR, Beating Death Through Genes. So far, we've seen how CRISPR saved the life of a child like KJ and how a lab discovery started changing medical history. But the real question now begins: are we on the path to defeating every disease through genes? Will humans now write their own destiny with DNA as their ink? It sounds futuristic, but science is moving exactly in this direction. 1. Ending genetic diseases. CRISPR is already being tested in clinical trials against several rare genetic diseases. Sickle-cell anemia, first CRISPR-based therapy, Casgevy. Beta-thalassemia, cystic fibrosis, hemophilia, muscular dystrophy. These diseases were once a lifelong struggle. Now a single DNA edit could potentially cure them completely. 2. Mental disorders and aging. Now imagine it, if we could fix mutations in genes that cause schizophrenia, autism, or Alzheimer's, or genes that make our cells age, could they be edited to delay or even stop aging? Science says it's possible, and trials have already begun. Now it's not about if, but when. 3. Cancer, diabetes, even HIV. CRISPR trials are already underway to prevent HIV virus from entering the human genome. Some researchers are even injecting CRISPR directly into cancer cells, activating their self-destruction switch.
Has already cured people of devastating disorders like sickle cell disease, and it's created rice plants that are resistant to both diseases and drought. Incredible, right? But the next world-changing advance with CRISPR will actually come from using it in a way that will allow us to go to the next level by editing genes beyond just in individual organisms. We now have the ability to use CRISPR to edit entire populations of tiny microbes called microbiomes that live in and on our bodies.
So yes, CRISPR could be the next breakthrough cure for cancer. 4. Designer babies, risk or opportunity. Here's where the story gets a bit dark. Because CRISPR can change not just diseases but human traits too. Increase intelligence, choose eye color, decide height, set disease resistance. This means the human body could become a fully customizable product. But who gets access? Or will it create a new genetic elite class? 5. Science versus ethics. How much editing is too much? Do humans have the right to play God? If a child isn't perfect, do we edit them? These questions have now moved from labs to courtrooms. The future of CRISPR doesn't just clash with biology, it intersects philosophy, law, and morality. Conclusion: CRISPR is not magic, it's a tool. Like a scalpel, a surgeon can save a life with it, or a criminal could take one. Now it's up to humans. Will we battle with our genes or become their responsible creator? Chapter 5. The Remote of Evolution. Now in human hands? We've all heard it before. Nature is destiny. Survival of the fittest. That was the rule of evolution. But CRISPR has shaken that rule. Now the question is, can humans control evolution itself? Will we decide what the future human will look like? 1. Evolution versus editing. Nature evolved DNA over millions of years, mutation by mutation, error by error. But CRISPR is manually fixing these errors. Mutations are no longer random accidents. They've become intentional corrections. So who will survive, the fit or the edited? 2. Future generations, designer or natural. Imagine some parents want their child to be highly intelligent. Some want their genes free of heart disease. Some want to edit skin tone, height, or memory power. Is this a choice or control? Soon, every child could be tailor-made, like picking a mobile phone model. iKid Pro Max with 200 IQ and 0 allergies. Sounds cool, but think, those who are not edited, will they be normal or weak? 3. CRISPR as a social divider? Today, it's technology. Tomorrow, it could be a commodity. And if only the wealthy can afford gene editing, what then? A society where the rich are superior not just in wealth but genetically. A genetic caste system where the wealthy are genetically enhanced and the rest just human. 4. Ethics, consent, and humanity. The scariest question, can we alter the genes of future children without their consent? What about consent? What about identity? Can a child say, this isn't my real self, this is edited? And if a mistake happens, DNA is not Photoshop. There's no undo button. Conclusion, the path of science. Not straight but deep. CRISPR is not a villain, but it's not a hero either. It's just a tool in our hands. Now it's up to us. Will we save lives with it or lose our humanity? Perhaps for the first time, humans are not evolving according to nature. We are evolving ourselves. The book of DNA is now in our hands. The question is, will we write it wisely or erase it in arrogance? If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe to Now's the Lab. Comment below, will CRISPR make us gods or monsters? So, you've seen how tools like CRISPR can edit our DNA, cure diseases, and literally rewrite the destiny of children like KJ. Impressive, right? But think about it, if we can control our genes, will anything remain impossible? There was a time when humans couldn't even imagine modifying DNA in their wildest dreams. Similarly, there's another impossible concept, teleportation. Until now, we've only seen teleportation in stories, cartoons, and sci-fi movies. But at the speed science is moving today, and with humans editing genes, who knows, maybe one day teleportation could become reality. You might think this is pure imagination, but science has always turned imagination into the future. And maybe you didn't know. Teleportation experiments have already been proven to work. I'm not joking. In the video on the left side, I've talked in detail about this, how the idea of teleportation could change our understanding, technology, and daily life, and what progress science has made so far to make this dream a reality. Click on the video on the left to explore the full story. Because who knows, while watching this video, a technology might be discovered that lets you go from India to New York in a flash, just by pressing a button. We'll meet next time with another mind-blowing topic. Until then, sayonara.